Welcome back to Criminals Hate Me. It's the YouTube podcast that criminals don't want you to watch. And today's video is going to be called 12 Reasons Why the Noah Presgrove Case Will Never Be Solved. And so I'm seeing in the Noah Presgrove community in the last few days that we've got people that are claiming that they're submitting Noah's case to the Unsolved Mysteries TV show. And it's just unbelievable. I mean, I don't really want to go into all of that of how ridiculous it is, because I mean we've already submitted it to all these experts and they've all given their expert opinion. People that have done cases like these their whole career, and most of them are saying hit and run, but nobody wants to believe it, so they want to submit it to these crazy TV shows to try to prove something else. But anyway, that's what got me going on this episode today. So we're going to look at 12 reasons why the case will never be solved, okay? So number one is Noah's crime scene was botched, totally mishandled, okay? The people that were on that scene, I don't know if they were inexperienced, I don't know what was going on, but just like Jan, everybody knows who Jan is, just like she said, Noah's human civil rights were violated. He was denied those human civil rights, okay? If you don't know what happened in a body, you got a dead body and it's got all these injuries and you don't know what those injuries are, you have to investigate, okay? You can't just say undetermined or unknown, okay? And you should investigate it as a murder until you can prove one way or another if it was a murder or not a murder, okay? And here's an example of another case that happened in Orange County. It was a big deal in the news back in 2021, but it's just an example. I could find more examples, but here's a big one where they had 67 criminal cases that had to be dropped due to the sheriff mishandling evidence. Okay, that's very similar to what's going on here. It's a big deal when you don't treat crime scenes or evidence correctly. Okay, you can get cases dropped and criminals can walk free. Okay, number two, the lack of social hosting charges. Okay, Oklahoma makes this big deal about social hosting, and you know, those who host stand to lose the most. Okay, don't give people under 21 a place to drink. They push this narrative and this law so hard, but you have this case where this exact thing happened and you can charge someone, but you're not. And you know why? Because the people who can be charged are hiding behind lawyers. Very, very good lawyers. Okay? And without going into way too much detail, let me explain why they haven't been charged. Okay? Because you've got lawyers that are telling them, hey, it's going to be almost impossible, very, very, very hard for you to get charged on social hosting when we don't even know Noah's cause of death. Okay? It's like a loophole that they're using, that they're hiding behind. How can social hosting be charged when you still have this murder mystery over here to the side? Okay? And let me tell you, that's probably why all the rumors are going and why everybody's pushing the murder narrative, so that they can hide behind lawyers and avoid these charges. I mean, it's sad but true, guys. Okay, number three, all of the Noah Presgrove Facebook groups, they all think that it was murder, and they cannot accept the hit and run narrative regardless of all the evidence. Okay? If you don't believe that it was a murder, you're kicked out of the Facebook groups. Okay? If you don't believe all the garbage they're spewing in these Facebook groups, you're kicked out. Okay? And it's all it is just lies and rumors and just garbage. And if you have common sense and a brain, and if you go into these groups and you're like, hey, I think all the evidence points to a hit and run, you know, because the body doesn't have shoe marks on it, or fist marks on it, knuckle marks, or golf club marks, or it doesn't show that he was hit with a baseball bat, or all these possibilities. None of that's there. It doesn't show that there's no tire marks to show that his body was ran over. Okay, and when you have that, it's kind of like evidence of that he was hit from above, like in the chest area, from waist up. Because someone said that maybe he fell out of the back of a truck. No, he would have had injuries to his legs. Okay, so it's absolutely positively evidence, his injuries, of being hit by something with great impact from the top portion of his body, like waist up. Okay, but nobody wants to believe it. They want to believe that he was beat with something and murdered, all this crazy stuff, and there's no proof of it. Okay, so you're gonna get kicked out of the groups, guys, if you keep believing, if you go against their narrative. Okay, number 4, you've got bullying by fake Facebook accounts in these groups. Okay, you got people in there catfishing behind fake accounts. Okay, they're doing all the cyberbullying, and they'll make fun of you if you go against their narrative. They'll try to dox you, and they'll try to look you up on Intellis reports and find out where you live. I mean, good God, man. I've done 100 cases, and I've never been personally attacked like this before in my life. You got, the number 1 offender is George Chodan. We all know that this guy is fake. Okay, the real George Chodan is a very successful person with a good, high-paying job, and he's from Canada. Okay, and I don't believe for 1 minute that he would submit himself to doing all this catfishing and cyberbullying. I just don't. I mean, I can't show you screenshots, but I've seen them where he was threatening a female and her family. Okay, for what? For being interested in the Noah Presgrove case? For wanting the case solved? So now you're going to go after her? Okay, that's just one that I've seen. Guys, I'm still relatively new to this case, only in the last 2 months that I've came into this case. So I wonder how much bullying and all this has been going on in the last 11 months. How many people were bullied? I mean, we know how many people were banned from the groups, hundreds. So did they all get bullied and stalked and harassed and intimidated before they were booted? I mean, good Lord. I mean, we need criminal charges against these guys for doing this crap, man. And let me tell you, catfishing and fake accounts, they haven't helped the case at all. It's actually stalled the case and prevented the case from being solved. Okay. Number 5, you got a granny private investigator who has personal agendas and conflicts of interest. Okay. There's rumors. I don't know if it's true, but when you put 2 and 2 together and use common sense, it seems like it's true. Because in her interview, she says her grandson called her the morning that they found Noah dead. Her grandson called her. Okay, so people are putting 2 and 2 together of who her grandson is. Should she be investigating this case when her grandson was possibly at that party? Okay. And let me tell you, some of the catfishing and stuff and the fake Facebook profiles, probably done by her, because she's made every mistake in the book that kind of gives it away that it's her. So she's breaking the freaking law by doing these rogue investigative tactics. And you're not really investigating, honey. All you're doing is just causing more problems. Okay? Abusing your power to harass people instead of freaking looking into the case and solving it. Good Lord. Number 6, you got movie producers who are in this case just because they want a Netflix deal. I mean, good Lord, it's just a money grab. And so the hit and run narrative, it's bad for the next Netflix deal. It'll probably prevent the Netflix deal, okay? So you keep pushing the murder theory, the unsolved mystery, and that helps your Netflix deal, okay? Number 7, everyone in this case seems to be covering for each other because they're either family or friends or in bed with each other, okay? I mean, every time I turn around, every time I talk to someone about the case, and I'm like, finally, I'm talking to somebody who's unbiased. You know what? I found out, oh, well, that's my cousin, or, oh, yeah, she's my aunt. Oh, yeah, that's my grandma. Uh-huh. You know, that's my sister over there. You know, or they're sleeping with each other, and so they have all these reasons to cover for each other. So it doesn't matter if you're related or you're sleeping with them or friends or family. If they committed a crime, they need to be in jail. You need to stop defending them. Okay? But I think that's why we've got all these personal attacks going on in these Facebook groups and people are getting kicked out. Because some of us are getting way too close to the truth. And when we do, it starts to reveal the friends and family connection. Okay? Number 8, geofencing should have solved this case, but it didn't. Why not? You supposedly got this geofencing data. It shows everyone's movements. Okay? It shows who was there. So either you don't have the data or you didn't do the proper time window. I mean, there's rumors that the geofencing was only an hour window. Now I heard another rumor, and this person claims that she's seen the geofence report and that it was from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. My goodness, if you have that much data, this case should be solved just by phone data alone. And reports are that you only got 2 people moving around. How's that possible when all these other people were saying or admitting they were at the crime scene of the body? How's it 2 people? So something's not right with the geofencing data. I don't think you really have it. Okay, so let's get a new one submitted the right way, and let's get the real data. Okay. Number 9, you had the witness who was driving by that morning and says that they saw 3 people on the ATV coming from the scene of where the body was. I mean, my goodness, that's the freaking evidence right there. That's bombshell evidence. I mean, you got 3 people coming from the scene on the ATV, and then everyone is saying there was an ATV accident at the party where Noah was involved in. I mean, maybe they really did put him on this thing and go stage and dump his body over there by the road. I mean, good Lord. Why hasn't this been looked into? Why isn't there news articles about this? This is bombshell evidence, guys. Then you have the rumor about the casino employee who says they saw the 3 boys throwing the hat away in the casino trash can. Throwing Noah's hat away. I mean, is this true? Is it false? Is it a rumor? Or is it just another rabbit hole in the case? Okay. 11. Cadence' timeline is absolutely, positively 100% off. Okay. He says his mom and Melissa came to pick Georgia up. But look at what Abby Gilmore is saying. Okay? Because Breeley was supposed to be the one, that was involved, that was with Georgia. And here's Abby saying, Breeley is my sister. and left by 2 a.m. She did not drive. She called and was picked up by my older sister. She was gone before anything went down. What do you mean before anything went down? That's very odd. So that seems like somebody knows something. It seems like Breely told you something, Abby. So what else did she tell you? Have police ever interviewed you and got your full statement? Because it seems like you know something. But that's besides the point. The point is, Georgia was not with Breely a mile down the road. Breely was picked up by 2, supposedly, by her sister. Okay? Then she's saying, Dusty's asking about Georgia. I thought she was picked up by the mom. And then she's saying, my other 2 sisters came to pick them up and drove her car home. As far as I know, Abby's sisters is not Melissa and Alicia. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I did some deep dive research into this, and Abby, I don't see Alicia and Melissa Burns as your sisters. So, Caden, if parts of your timeline are wrong, then that means the whole timeline's wrong. I'm sorry. You lay your timeline out, okay? And if any part of it can be debunked, and this right here is debunking it. As far as I'm understanding, if I'm wrong, guys, correct me in the comments. But she's admitting right here that someone other than Alicia and Melissa is the one who picked them up. Okay, and she don't even mention the mile down the road thing. Okay, so how did Alicia's story get into this? Okay, because in a court trial, in the court of law, okay, your timeline will be thrown out just because one part of it was debunked. Okay, and then last but not least, the reason why Noah Presgrove's case will probably never be solved is everyone was asleep while everything was happening. Nobody saw nothing. Everyone was mysteriously and ironically and coincidentally asleep while whoever was on the ATV, whoever took the keys while Jack was asleep, you know, nobody saw nothing. Everybody was sleeping. I mean, it's like just snap your fingers and we're all asleep at the same time. Nobody saw nothing. That's why nobody can come forward. I mean, it is the craziest case I've ever seen in my life, guys. And I've outlined today 12 reasons that have kept this case from being solved, because it's all over the place. Everybody's covering for each other. You got all the fighting and catfishing and fake profiles and cyber stalking and, you know, just all this crap going on in the case. You know, you got geofencing rumors, you got the Netflix deal that somebody's chasing. I mean, the case is all over the place. And when you have someone who comes in and lays down the facts of, hey, I looked at all of the evidence and I think it's a hit and run. When you have that, and these are people that you guys reached out to, you wanted their expert opinion. They gave it, and you still don't believe it. So now you're out there searching for someone else to confirm that this was a murder. Why do you need this to be a murder so bad, guys? I don't understand it. I understand why the movie producers need it to be a murder. But why does the family need it to be a murder? Why do friends and family, you know, why do the Facebook groups need it to be a murder? What am I missing here, guys? Can somebody please fill me in the blanks here? Just explain it to me, because I must be missing it. But anyway, guys, that's all I have. I'm probably going to take a break from this case because, like I said, it's not going to be solved anytime soon without a confession. And we all know nobody's going to confess. So I'm going to leave it right here. Hopefully I'm pointing out the obvious to the guys who have the blinders on and can't see it. Okay? This is what's keeping the case from being solved. Okay? Botched crime scene. We don't even have a reason of how Noah was killed or why he's dead. Okay? If it's coming down to inexperienced law enforcement, okay, if you know you were supposed to do the accident reconstruction and all this stuff, if it's coming down to you being inexperienced in those areas, okay, then hand the case over to someone who can do accident reconstruction the right way. Hand it over to an expert. Get help. Okay? But unfortunately, it may be too late because the crime scene and the evidence may have been already mishandled too much to where there's just no way to solve it. You know? So anyway, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next video. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but we're going to move on. And remember, this is the podcast that criminals don't want you to watch.